may I have your attention, please? Welcome to Rosner Arena on the campus of the University of Mary Washington. Before we start tonight's event, please take a moment to find the nearest emergency exit. Emergency exits are located at the four corners of Rosner Arena and two exits in the middle of the back wall. In the event of an emergency, please exit through the nearest emergency exit. Crowd managers identified by emergency vests will help with exiting the facility in an orderly manner. The staff hope you have a great evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for attending tonight's graduation ceremony honoring Caroline High School's class of 2018. At this time, we ask for everyone to please stand as we honor our nation and those who defend its freedom. The colors tonight are presented by the Caroline JROTC Color Guard under the direction of Lieutenant Colonel Smith. He is assisted tonight by Lieutenant Colonel Farmer, Captain Blair, Captain Lloyd, and Captain Apperson. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Please join me in saying the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may now be seated.
Mrs. Long, members of the Board of Supervisors, Mr. Spalding, school board members, Mr. Wick, faculty and staff of Caroline High School, parents, families, friends, and most importantly, members of the class of 2018. Good evening. I've been given the honor of welcoming you all to this year's graduation. Graduation is an event that marks the end of a chapter in each of our lives, but more importantly, marks the beginning of another. For some of us, our education is over as we join the ever-growing workforce. But for the rest of us, we start a new journey into higher education. As our paths divide, many friendships will end and many memories will be forgotten. But when the chapter of our lives named high school ends, all of our mistakes, all of our heartbreak, all of our sin from this chapter ends with it. none of it carries over. And that is not to say that our next chapters won't contain mistakes or heartbreaks or pain, because these will occur. But by reading chapter 3 of the book of Ecclesiastes, we learn that these moments in our life, the one that we think define us, like our failures or our misery, are just chapters of life, and that there's a time and a purpose for these moments. There are better days to come. The scripture reads, "For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck what has been planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace, a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak up, a time to love, a time to hate, a time for war, and a time for peace." So tonight, we have arrived at a time for celebration, a time to embrace the accomplishments we have achieved in the past 13 years of our lives. When we walk across this stage, we walk away from our old lives and into opportunity, the opportunity for redemption from whatever our previous chapters contained. Yesterday is gone, but tomorrow is still to come. I urge you all to forgive yourselves for anything that you may feel shame or guilt about, because that time is gone, and a new time is upon us, a time to cast away our worries, a time to pluck what we have planted, a time to seek redemption from our pasts. Every mistake made is simply a chance to correct it the next time. Our time to leave this phase of our lives has come, and we face the uncertainty of what is ahead with both fear and hope. We do not know exactly what we may face, but we do know that we have survived many challenges to get to this point. I believe that suffering through challenges creates endurance, and endurance creates character. Then the character created by trials provide us with hope for what is to come. And this hope that originated from searing loss, from tribulation, from heartbreak, from discouragement, will sustain us through each of our seasons. So now, we are left with a choice to let our hardship define us or our response to hardship define us. By choosing the latter of the two, we let our challenges teach us about ourselves and to develop our character. We grant ourselves the grace to not be enslaved by our past or by our circumstances. There is opportunity in adversity, but a decision must be made. A decision to seize the opportunity of redemption is upon us. So, what will your decision be? Now, in honor of the wisdom of my great-grandmother, I leave you with a saying that she used countless times in her life, a statement of hope, even when there appears to be none. A rainy Sunday makes for a pretty Monday. The seasons of disappointment, the so-called rainy days, will come, but the hope for what will follow comforts us. Class of 2018, I wish you many pretty Mondays through life. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Good evening, students, parents, and teachers. Today marks both an ending and a new beginning. We look around and wonder, where have all the years gone? And what happened to our yesterdays? I know that we all did not believe Mr. Wick freshman year sitting in the auditorium for our first assembly when he said our 4 years would go by fast. And look at us now, sitting in these chairs, thinking about what we want our college dorm rooms to look like, or how working every day with no long summer break will be like. These last few weeks, we have been thinking about all the good times we had, all the pep rallies and games, picture day and lunchtime gossip, and basically growing up together and knowing it now all comes to an end. I remember a day in my life in 7th grade in health class when my teacher, Mr. Dudley, gave us the question of the day to put in our health notebooks, which was, what is your purpose in life? I sat in the back of the classroom talking to my friends, not really paying attention, but I remember some students said their purpose in life was to make money, and someone even said to play video games all day. Mr. Dudley noticed I was not paying attention, so he called on me and asked me what was my purpose in life. I said to make mistakes and learn from them. And he said, wow, that's a really good answer, I like that. Making mistakes is not only apologizing and promising not to do it again. It is allowing us to grow and evolve as human beings. We have all had our fair share of mistakes. whether it's from being in a relationship that's toxic or saying something that may have hurt someone. However, hopefully, we have not only learned from them, but are willing to correct them when we continue our journeys. One day, when we all have children with that special someone, and they will have children of their own, we will be able to tell them all the wild things we did and mistakes we all made in high school and college. We want to have the ability to look back on our lives and say, I can't believe I did that, rather than I wish I had done that. Because believe it or not, our mistakes make our lives more interesting. They also give us an opportunity to try again, to keep striving to be the best humans possible. I encourage all of us when we leave this ceremony tonight that we continue to learn and grow, because whether you are 18 or 98, we are all still learning. With every mistake made, we discover more about ourselves that we did not know before, and more about our limits and capabilities. Recognizing that people make mistakes and can learn from them is better than faking perfections. Any regrets you might have about your decisions, words, and actions are simply part of the process. After all, we've been warned many times that life gets even harder after high school. We will make and then need to meet new obligations, bills to pay, classes to take and succeed in, jobs to find and excel in, and adulting in general. We will get through this as we have gone through almost everything, working hard, perhaps making a few mistakes, but continuing to grow because of it. I end with words from a poem entitled Mistakes by Bernard Snyder. I am not perfect by any stretch. I've made mistakes with many regrets. I've burned bridges that I shouldn't have crossed, for which I had to pay a price 4 times what it actually cost. But I've since grown and learned in the process that living a perfect life is unheard of and far-fetched. So I've taken those mistakes and all those bridges burned, try to build from it all, and consider them lesson learned. Thank you.
Good evening, faculty, teachers, family, friends, and most importantly, the class of 2018. I am standing here today to encourage and motivate you all to make the best of your life going forward. Michelle Obama once said, "You may not always have a comfortable life, and you will not always be able to solve the world's problems at once, but don't ever underestimate the importance you can have, because history has shown us that courage can be contagious, and hope can take on a life of its own. We each have our individual gifts that can empower our lives and even the world. We are fortunate to have remained safe throughout our years of high school, but we have experienced via the news media and social media so many tragedies affecting young people in this country's schools. The issues that lie at the root of these senseless events are complicated, and we as young adults try to understand the incomprehensible. When we at Caroline High School had a false alarm in the fall, firecrackers that mimic gunfire, the reality of what can occur hit us all hard. Thankfully, no one was harmed. But that false alarm is a reminder that we should make the most of every day, every opportunity, and every relationship. As a part of making the best of your life, you need to decide what is it you want to do, and then set out to accomplish this goal. If you want to become a doctor, a supervisor, or even our future president, work towards it. Be realistic about what it takes to reach the goal, but do not allow others to discourage you, or even worse, your own fears to present obstacles. Leave your options open for the opportunities that await. Learn to listen to the advice of others, but rely on your own instincts to make the correct decisions. Sometimes that is a tough balance to maintain. You should plan ahead and prepare a course of action. Stretching boundaries can create uncertainty, and it can also create unconventional ideas. The unknown is scary. What lies beyond our present lives may seem foreign and impossible, but the only person who will always be there is you. Learn to trust yourself. One of our former First Ladies, Eleanor Roosevelt, once said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." It speaks to each of us. We have our own lives and should embrace our own uniqueness. Do not compare yourselves to others, activating insecurity. Know and love yourself. By this being said, know that you are capable of doing whatever it takes to achieve your goals. You may even feel uncomfortable at first. No matter where you land after tonight, what you aspire to achieve, you have to work toward. You cannot be deterred by others' opinions or your own fears. Each accomplishment brings you closer to your next goal. Never take your education for granted as well. Using all that you have learned in and outside of the classroom determines your level of success and ultimately happiness. Additionally, let's build each other up instead of dividing and destroying. We move forward tonight into a future that is both well-planned and yet unknown. Each of us needs to make the best of our lives going forward so that when our life's journey is completed, we know we accomplished everything we set out to do with no regrets. Class of 2018, I wish you the happiness that comes from fulfilling your potential, the confidence that comes from setting and achieving your goals, and the grace that arises from recognizing that your individual journey is never accomplished alone due to your unique presence. Thank you.
Hello and good evening. Okay, so I'm doing something a little bit different. My goal tonight is to provide a message that will have everyone thinking about graduation in a different way. There will be no cliches, inspirational quotes, and sayings. I figured out that everyone is likely nervous, excited, and maybe like me, hungry, so I will keep this short. So, instead of attempting to be inspirational, I will simply define graduation. Graduation is the ceremony of conferring degrees or diplomas as a college or a school. What we celebrate here is the fact that we have earned our diplomas by completing the requirements of Carolina High School in the state of Virginia. That's a fairly straightforward and boring definition, but this event represents so much more than that. In fact, it gives us a chance to close one phase of our lives and await the opening of so many more. For a few moments, we can review what we have accomplished and the people who have traveled along with us, such as family, friends, teachers, and our coaches. So the road that we have taken to get here has not always been paved with celebrations, high fives, and success. At times, we have made mistakes, and our school experiences has had its bumps, detours, and occasional reminders from those in authority that we were not ready. In fact, I would suggest that high school is not supposed to be that way because it is a big lesson within itself. Because of that, some of us know exactly where we are going next, others are close to figuring things out, and some of us are still examining all of our options. However, we are united as members of this class, and as diverse in skills and goals as we may be, we have all reached a magical graduation event together. We have survived the rigors of high school academics and teenage social life. Our teachers, counselors, and coaches can breathe sighs of relief as we walk across the stage because we have made it, due partly to their efforts. Our administrators can smile knowing we have learned the lessons that they have longed for us to learn. The family members who have supported us and prodded us can be assured that we kept our heads out of our phones long enough to get the job done and listen. Tonight, my fellow students, we graduate. Finally, we think about our friends, those who have journeyed with us throughout high school. We have smiled, we have laughed, and we may have even struggled upon occasion together. So we do not need the cliches or deep reflections here either to recognize the importance of all of these people. At some point tonight, we should each take a moment and admit our joy to reflect on the past that got us here. Understanding where you come from is necessary when determining where you are going, and the members of this class have potential to go far. Class of 2018, look around right quick. These are the folks that have traveled this road with you, surrounded by many more who have supported you along the way. Your hard work, along with the hard work of everyone else, has made the ceremony and the accomplishments behind it possible. Our diplomas will soon be conferred, and each of us will leave here to meet what lies ahead. We may be nervous, even anxious, because the future is unknown, but no matter the path we pursue, we will figure out ways to succeed. After all, we have all done it before throughout the high school years. So, savor this moment, appreciate the journey, and remain positive as we go into our different walks of life. Best of luck to the class of 2018. Congratulations.
Good evening, everybody. Elijah Buck Ball was an important person to many in our class. He was known for his big heart, funny jokes, and most importantly, his goofy smile that could light up a room. He always knew what to say in order to make someone's day better. He was full of life and potential. He was kind and always knew the right thing to say. Buck was great at pulling people's heartstrings. To know him was to love him. We all lost a piece of our hearts after losing him. We will never forget his funny jokes, crazy nicknames, and love for us. After losing him, our hearts were extremely heavy. His wings may have been ready for him in heaven, but our hearts were not ready for the loss on earth. Our class grieved and rallied together. We vowed to love and cherish his memory and the joy he brought into our lives every day. The slogan E for B was created in his memory. It means everything for Buck. It is important that we as a class remember exactly what the slogan was created for. It was not created out of spite or malice. It was created so that we could continue to spread light and positivity in memory of him and his personality. We as a class should want to be better people for him. We should want to be successful not only for us, but for him too. Today is the beginning of the rest of our adult lives. Anytime we begin to feel lazy or uninspired, we should remember Buck and all that he did not get to accomplish. We should allow his fun-loving spirit to continue to live through us. Tonight, as we walk across the stage and receive our diplomas, we will think of Buck watching over with his big, goofy smile. Remember the laughs we shared, the love he gave, and everything he ever made you feel. At this time, if Buck's parents are here tonight, please come forward to accept his remembrance.
Come up, Jeff? Yeah. Have him come up.
Class of 2018, we walk across this stage tonight proud of what we have accomplished and ready to make a positive impact in the world. We carry the memory of classmates like Buck and know that what we do for him as well. Everything for Buck. Class of 2018.
Good evening. The last 4 years have felt like both an eternity and a split second for many of us. I'm glad to finally say, we made it. Our high school years were built on hard work, perseverance, and commitment to succeed. Along the way, we each faced our own obstacles and experienced challenges that made us make tough decisions, choices that helped shape who each of us is today. However, we did not do this alone. None of us would be here without the help of everyone who cares about us, our friends, family, teachers, and our community. It is now time for us to return the favor in any way we can. From simply acknowledging others in our community, to participating in volunteer work, to offering help to others in need. This also includes just saying thank you to those who have been in our corners throughout our lives and to those who will come into our lives in the future. We too have the power to make a difference in the lives of others. I urge all of you to show your appreciation to those who came out to support you tonight and who will be a positive influence in your lives in the future. Even though high school has been the most important era of our lives so far, it is just another step in our journeys. It is critical to remember that this is not simply the end of the road, but a gateway to the next chapter, the next destination. We must continue to strive for excellence on whatever road we choose, and take care of those who journey with us and help us along the way. We travel in many different directions after tonight: college, far away or close by, military service to the corners of the earth, or career training. One thing that we will always have in common is our roots in this community and this school. Regardless of where we end up, Caroline High School will always be the place where we made many of the choices that have shaped our lives, brought us here this evening, and determined who we will be in the future. Make no mistake, we have changed from the freshmen who timidly entered the school 4 years ago. The school itself has transformed into a facility for the 21st century, and parts of that renovation were far from enjoyable. Growth and change are challenging and sometimes uncomfortable for young people as well, but we survived it. We are now adults. We are ready and the world outside awaits us. Beyond our academic lives, we have also made choices in our personal lives, choices that will continue no matter what we do. It is critical to remember that we not only make a difference in other people's lives, but we take actions that improve our communities. Whenever we get the chance, we should contribute to making this school and this community better for the next generation. This is one of the best ways we can show our gratitude. This may include registering to vote, volunteering or assisting in youth programs, helping out at community events or functions, and simply being there when a family or friend asks for help. It's what really shapes character and defines who a person truly is. We can make a difference not only here, but anywhere we end up by voicing our opinions. We can stand up for social justice and human rights by joining the conversation and, consequently, changing society. As I mentioned, voting is important. Voting in an election is one of the most underappreciated tools we have as adults, and I strongly encourage all of you to participate next election season. Your vote does matter. Our generation should be remembered for impacting society in a positive way, so why don't we work for that goal? We have the power to achieve great personal success, dictate our personal futures, and impact others along the way. We can make a difference in our communities and our world. The decision to act is ours, and the time to start is today. Thank you. Congratulations, class of 2018.
Good evening, and congratulations to the class of 2018. Today, we are one step closer to becoming the persons we were destined to be. As we graduate from high school and leave behind the past 4 years, we are preparing to enter careers or colleges, and most who view us from the exterior would find us to be absolutely ecstatic. The prevailing feeling for many of us, though, is more uncertain and even a bit fearful. When I was 15, I watched the film Say Anything for the first time. The film opens with a graduation ceremony, which I found to be quite a strange place for a beginning because it typically seems like the perfect ending. But I chose not to question it too deeply and just enjoyed it. The valedictorian, Diane Court, gave her student address, and it was all quite sincere and sweet, though one line never made much sense to me. Quite eloquently, she stated, "I have glimpsed our future, and all I can say is, go back." Meant to be a humorous quip, it is returned with silence by all of her classmates because they simply didn't understand the meaning behind her words. Truthfully, neither did I. And I couldn't even begin to grasp some sort of notion of what she meant by it. That is, until recently. At this point in the year, we are all usually helping our teachers pack up their classrooms and are eagerly awaiting summer. But this year is different. We're not looking into the summer, but looking back on the past 4 years we spent together, as well as the many years before even those, and it's all a blur. I can remember the first day of high school in 2014 quite vividly. We were excited, yet anxious and afraid we would do everything wrong. I can also remember the last day of senior year clearly, and the sentiments among us all were quite the same in respect to the future we are embarking on. But as I look back on these memories, I come to realize that I can't remember all of the days that came in between now and then. All I can confidently say is that I have begun and ended high school with the same emotions which I can feel running high among my classmates. And so it might appear that we have experienced no growth. But of course we have. When I began high school, I was 14 and thought I knew everything. My friends and I would have open and confident conversations about the future and ourselves, as if we knew it all and understood it so clearly.
At 14, we thought we knew exactly where we were going, everything we would do, everything we would be, and everything that we were. And yet, 4 years later, nothing seems to be the same, except our anxiety about the future. We have made new friends and lost some along the way. We discovered new interests and passions. What we enjoyed 4 years ago, or even last week, has changed for most of us. While it is a quite unsettling thought, change is merely how life depicts growth. Like many of you, I am not sure of who I am or who I will be. As we look back on a time when the future seemed so clear, we realize that suddenly we are unsure and scared all over again, but for different reasons. Everyone tells us we have to know what we will be doing in the future, but the truth is, we don't have to have everything figured out right this moment. Everything that I passionately believed would become true as a 14-year-old never actually did become a reality, despite my confident daydreams. However, I have never been happier with the person I am today, even if it is not what I had expected. 4 years ago, some of us could not believe that these are the places we would eventually be. But this is where we should be, and each of us should be proud right now. All of the accomplishments, misfortunes, and changes that we have gone through to get to this very moment have been absolutely crucial in making us who we are today, and that is something to feel proud of. And so, as we come to the end of our high school careers, I realized just what it is that Diane Court had meant when she told us to go back. It might seem desirable to find ourselves back in a time when we knew everything, or at least thought we did, because suddenly the future seems so uncertain. As high school freshmen, we were terrified, but we were terrified with a strange confidence about the future. Sometimes it seems that all we have now is fear, but as immature as we were back then, we can still learn something from the past. When we had all of the confidence in the world, we were quite naive. And while we may lack the confidence that we once had, we have gained wisdom in its place. We know that the future is uncertain, but we can also approach each day and each milestone with not only a bit of fear, but also with the wisdom that we have succeeded and can do it again. We don't have to know everything right now, even when the people around us say that we should. We are young and forever learning. Now is the time to make mistakes, not expect a life drawn out on blueprint paper, because the blueprints will only be quickly tossed aside. So, let us glimpse the unclarity of the future and go back to a time in which we thought we knew it all and learn from it, because life is ever changing, and we cannot predict what the time may bring to us, and so we mustn't try to. The changes and unexpected only bring us closer to the people we were meant to be. I had once believed so many things, and most all of them have proven to be untrue. When I first watched the film Say Anything, I found a graduation ceremony to merely be the perfect ending. But as I look upon all of the faces of my peers I've grown up with, I know that while it makes for a beautiful ending, the ceremony makes for an even greater beginning for all of our futures into the unknown. Thank you.
Please come forward. I'm sorry, the graduates who are in the chorus, please come forward.
Good evening, everybody.
Wow.
How is the classiest class of 2018 doing tonight? And I want you to know that I mean that with all my heart. You guys are the classiest class of 2018 in my mind. You guys have overcome a lot of adversity and challenges in your days in high school, some of which we heard about today, some of which you experienced today. But you guys always seem to rise to the occasion and do what you got to do to make things happen. You get to deserve a lot of credit for that. So let's give them a round of applause. I do want to thank you guys for handling this situation today, both the students as well as the parents and guardians here. It was definitely an unexpected occurrence this morning, but you guys went with the flow, got it done, and allowed us to have this wonderful event tonight despite our circumstances. You've proved today that you can overcome when you put your mind to it, so great job. I want to welcome and thank some other people here. Before we continue, behind me we have some special guests from the school board office. Your superintendent, Dr. Parker. Your assistant superintendent, Dr. Calveric. Your director of school improvement, Dr. Monroe. Also, to my left, we have a couple of board of supervisors with us tonight. Over here, Mr. Jeff Black and Mr. Jeff Seeley. School board members, Chairman Mr. George Spalding, as well as Dr. Jawanda Rollins-Fells. I do want to thank Mr. Boquist in the chorus. You guys did a wonderful job for coming out and singing for us tonight. As well as the ROTC, led by Chief Marsh, Sergeant Major Bourgeois, and of course, the Captain of the Guard, Mr. Stephen Smith. Great job, guys. And I could go on with the people who organized this event and whatnot, but I just thank all you guys for being here tonight. And I want to highlight some accomplishments of the members of the senior class. This includes some other students in the building as well. For example, we have 22 members of the Beta Club attending National Convention this year who've qualified to do that. It's a great job to the Beta Club. That's a big accomplishment. We have a student here who is a state champion in the small engines competition. The Cavalier Band and the Cavalier Chorus and the Cavalier Strings Band all won excellent ratings in their VBODA assessment, and the Concert Band won a superior rating for the first time in a long time, which is the highest rating they can earn. So great job to all those groups. We had a student start the newspaper online this year called CavalierNews.com. So moving us into the 21st century. Great job with that. We have 5 students here tonight who did apprenticeships through a company in Caroline called MC Dean. We want to thank those kids for doing a great job there, as well as MC Dean for being here tonight to offer these students a job as they walk across the stage.
I forget his name. What's his name?
And lastly, the senior class has earned $2.48 million in scholarships this year. Great job. Okay, you guys know me as your principal. However, I consider myself an educator first. So this is my chance to give you a little bit of education, to teach you. Unlike I'm in the halls, usually getting on your case for violating the dress code or being late to class or something like that. So I get to teach you tonight. So what I want you to do, I want you to start envisioning in your mind a giant redwood tree, what it looks like, what it represents, some characteristics of a giant redwood tree. And some of you will probably think of different things, but a redwood tree is just that. It's giant. It's majestic. It's beautiful. It's over 300 feet tall. It houses, and it's a safe place for various birds and animals like squirrels and chipmunks and eagles and various things. They are so big that they cut a tunnel through one so cars could drive through it. So when you think about a giant redwood, you usually think of these types of qualities. On the other hand, I want you to think about a dandelion. If you think about a dandelion, you have a complete different picture in your mind. You see something that's somewhat fragile. It's tiny, might be 6 inches tall or 8 inches tall, has a little yellow flower on it. Most of us don't like them. We spray them with weed spray. We dig them out with shovels. We run them over with the lawnmower. So 2 different visions, the redwood versus the dandelion. But what I want you to think about or know is the redwood has no right to boast over the dandelion. And the reason is the redwood is made and created to be what it is. And the dandelion is also created to be what it is. So one can't boast over the other, and the other should not be inferior because of the former. And in society, we tend to focus on the high-profile jobs, the lawyers, the doctors, the CEOs, those types of things. We tend to overlook the other jobs that most of us do, such as teachers or accountants or auto mechanics or EMTs. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen the show Dirty Jobs, but that's one of my favorite shows. And they open every episode with a quote that says this: "People doing the kinds of jobs that make civilized life possible for the rest of us." Kind of thankless jobs, if you've ever seen the show. But people do those jobs. And society teaches you, when you come into school, that your goal should be to make the most money you can make. And what we tell you is if you have a GED, you're going to make this much money. And if you get a high school diploma, you're going to go up a little bit. If you get a college degree, you're going to be up here. If you go to the masters or more masters or PhDs, you're going to be over there. I don't know that that's really the purpose of education. The purpose of education shouldn't be about getting the most popular jobs that have the most notoriety or the most money. It should be you about coming in there and developing yourself and your mind, learning about new things, being able to think and understand, maybe learning skills so you can go out and get a job. So when it comes to GEDs versus PhDs, guess what? All those are equal in my mind. One is not better than the other. Similar to the redwood tree versus the dandelion, if you get a PhD or you get a GED, you're created to do what you were meant to do. So the former cannot be proud and boast over the other, and the other one cannot feel inferior to the one that is what we consider higher. It's important to have humility. Okay? Humility. Humble yourself, you will be honored. Honor yourself, you will be humbled. It's okay to be proud of your accomplishments, but it's not okay to be proud where you think you're better than anybody else. We all are equal. So we're going to go back to the redwood tree real quick. You got the redwood tree. Maybe a little bit below that is an oak tree. Maybe a little bit below that is a dogwood tree. Maybe somewhat lower is the dandelion. And lower than that is the blade of grass. We consider the redwood, as we do as humans, human nature, to consider bigger as better. But they all are equal. They all were created to perform a function. So they all are on a level playing field. One is not better than the other just because it's grander, and one is inferior to the other just because it's smaller. They all have a purpose. You guys all have a purpose. So whatever you end up doing in life, be proud of what you do, but don't think you're better than anybody else based on what you do. So again, humble yourself, you will be honored. Honor yourself, you will be humbled. You guys have taken a lot of tests in your high school career. As a matter of fact, your whole public school career, really. Well, now, what you hear is not a test, because I'm rapping to the beat. And me, the groove, and my friends are going to try to move your feet. You see, I am Mr. Wick, and I've come to say hello to the black, to the white, the red, and the brown, the purple, and yellow. But first, I gotta bang, bang, the boogie to the boogie, say up, jump, the boogie to the bang, bang, boogie, let's rock. You don't stop, rock the rhythm, that'll make your body rock. A skittle bebop, we rock, a Scooby-Doo. Well, guess what, Caroline? We love you. Everybody, guess what, Caroline? We love you. One more time, guess what, Caroline? We love you. All right, you guys have no idea who did that song. That's the Sugar Hill Gang from many, many years ago. Many years ago. So I will close by saying this. You guys, like I said earlier, you're the classiest class of 2018. I wish you the best fortune in your endeavors and wherever you go from here, and many blessings. So great job, class of 2018. Let's give them a big round of applause. Okay, at this time, I will turn it over to Maddie Gillespie for closing remarks.
Good evening, everyone. Before I begin, I would like to thank the class of 2018 for allowing me to represent you as your senior class president. It has truly been an honor to serve you all and to have an unforgettable senior year together. 4 years, 208 weeks, 1,460 days, we spent together walking the halls of Caroline High School, enduring classes together, and making everlasting memories. Each year was like a mountain we had to climb, coming with their own successes, tribulations, and experiences. Starting off with our freshman mountain, we had just entered a new world with new scenery, new experiences, and new opportunities. A fresh start was at our hands, and we had the potential to become whoever we wanted. In the beginning, we had many choices to make. Would we take the path towards a high scholastic record? Would we excel in sports? Would we choose the path of leadership? Who would become our friends, and how would we find out who we were? Many options were before us, and some chose not to take one, but to endure multiple paths our freshman mountain was offering. As freshmen, you may have quickly discovered that things were going to be much more difficult than they had been before, sometimes the hard way. As we traveled through our freshman year, we began to realize where we belonged and what we were best at. Reaching the end of our first mountain was a mile point in our overall journey. Moving on to our sophomore mountain, we had been promoted from being the babies of the school to knowing all the ins and outs. This mountain was slightly bigger than our first one. Sophomore year was where we began to flourish in things most important to us. Whether you found your passion in theater, began to apprehend your abilities on the basketball court, took on leadership roles, excelled in a CTE course, or shined as a performer, sophomore year was where we began to lay the foundation for our futures. Next was our junior mountain, which was a large step from the first we had journeyed. During this year, we began considering what our futures would look like. The junior mountain consisted of many steep assignments, intense research, and moments of both frustration and success. Junior year was one of the most difficult of the journeys because change was certain to begin very soon. This journey was full of curves and hills that brought out our full potential, like winning our first football game in 3 years on homecoming night. But it also allowed us to realize our breaking points, like writing a 10-page paper 2 hours before it was due. It was during this year where we took our SATs, our ACTs, researched future careers in colleges, began to drive, and shared some of the most important memories with those closest to us. Before we knew it, we took our senior pictures on our last few days and excitedly awaited for what our final journey would entail. Finally, we reached the senior mountain. At the beginning, I remember telling myself, this will be my year, and it indeed was a year, but much different than I'd expected. Although this mountain was the tallest of the four, our senior voyage seemed to go by the quickest. One moment we were applying to colleges and preparing for our future. and the next we were picking up our graduation caps and gowns. One moment we were buying homecoming tickets and attending our last homecoming game, and then we were preparing for the perfect senior prom. One moment we were ready to grow up so quickly, and the next we were anxious of what growing up would entail. And then we realized that these 4 mountains are far from being the end of the journey. All 4 mountains make up our collective experience as Caroline Cavaliers. We currently are at the top of one of the most important mountains in our lifetimes, but there are many more to come. At first glance, after overcoming so much, another mountain to climb can be discouraging. But we have to keep in mind what is at the top and how amazing it feels to have prevailed through the journey. Along the way, we learned many things about ourselves and who we are. Can we push ourselves to go the extra mile? Can we inspire ourselves to overcome adversity? Will we reach the top? Like the mountains we climbed through high school, there will be times we have to encourage ourselves to keep going, but there will also be times when there is someone there to encourage you to reach the top. We cannot be discouraged by our future mountains, for we have faced obstacles before and we have been successful. Our determination will carry us no matter the challenge. Congratulations, class of 2018, on making it to the top of one of the highest mountains in your lifetime, and may you conquer many more.
Class of 2018, have your attention please. Would the class of 2018 please rise?
Shane Thomas Garner. Berta Bernice Adams. Tristan Matthew Agee. Justin Edward Allen. Phil Jonathan Anderson. Michelle Ann Ayers. Jalea Lavon Baker. Javante Javon Baker. Casey Jacqueline Baker. Serenity Hope Baker Smith. Talijah Monet Ballard. Michelle Ann Barber. Dana Astrid Bastidas. Jalen Nicole Belfi. Sky Nicole Monet Berkeley. Daniel Akira Bevan, magna cum laude. Khadijah Renee Beverly. Olivia Paige Beverly, cum laude. Christopher Franklin Blanton. Diamond Brianna Blaze, cum laude. Antonio Jamal Blount. Clayton Thomas Bolin, cum laude. Rodney Clifton Borley, Jr. Noah Justice Bradley. Aiden McHale Branch, magna cum laude. Brianna Nicole Brewster. Shannon Kristen Britt, summa cum laude. Naeja Monet Brown. Dustin Lewis Bullock. Brianna Joelle Burns. Javon Nathaniel Butler. Jade McCarthy Campos, summa cum laude. Skylar Corinne Carneal. Marquise Lavon Carroll. Wesley Joel Carter. Devin Glenn Cassell. Malia April Chambers, cum laude. Jasmine Michelle Chapman. Matthew Fenwick Cheek. Lauren Grace Tuning, magna cum laude. Amy Lynn Coates. Yes. Devin Javon Coleman. Gareth Anthony Coleman. Gavin Jerome Coleman, MC Dean Electrical Apprenticeship. Jasmine Monet Coleman. Brianna Nazare Cologne. Travis Stephen Comfer. Jonathan Michael Costanzo. Scott Michael Cousins, Jr. Alexander William Crouch, MC Dean Electrical Apprentice. Vanessa Rebecca Cruz. Luis Renee Cruz Martinez. Cash Marie Eve Cummings. Amanda Joan Cummings. Michael Edward Cummings. Emily Laura Damon. Jacob Carter Davis, cum laude. Kyrie Jamal Davis. Sean Raymond Davis. Amira Lachey Detweiler. Tara Jean Denise, summa cum laude. Aiden Paul Desjardins. Kenya Lizeth Diaz Castillo. Charles Buddy Bongo DeCole. Chastity Joy Dillard. Daniel Griffin Dahl, summa cum laude. Jaleesa Lauren Dorsey. Morgan Rain Dorbley. Monica Claire Dunning. Anna Haley Dustin, magna cum laude. Davion Andreas Easter. Latricia Shantae Edler. Deborah Elaney Edney. Joseph Linwood Elliott. Kayla Madison Epperson, summa cum laude. Brooke Leanne Fields. Lillian Jean Flaherty. Rachel Marie Fogg. Kaya Celeste Fortune. Charles Leon Foster, cum laude. Adriana Tanea Fox. Tanner Joshua Garcia. Jamal DeVero Baylord Garnett. Gerard Dominic Garnett. Tyon Floyd Garnett. Jeremiah Devon Gaskins. Zaire Trayvon Gilbert. Nasiah Lene Gill. Madison Elizabeth Gillespie, magna cum laude. Deron Bartlett Godwin. Armando Carlos Gonzalez. Courtney Lee Gorham. Akeem Tavon Grant. Marvin Wayne Green, Jr. Kara Elise Ramoski. Jaden Noah Hagerman, cum laude. Braden Quinn Hall. Zachary Cole Ho, magna cum laude. Deshaun LaAnthony Hamlet. Cameron DeForest Harding. Davon Michael Harding. Zion Elizabeth Harris. Jamie Merchant Hatcher. Maya Lysandra Hawkins. Vivian Allison Heath. David Ryan Hill. Jessica Taylor Honeycutt. Jordan Michaela Hood. Meredith Catherine Howard. Taylor Mariah Hubbs. Kevin McHale Jackson. Rachel Nicole Geralds. Deshawn Maurice Johnson. Trinity Bernadette Johnson. Jalen Cameron Jones. Jasmine Alexis Jones. Ramarius Martinique Jones II. Bernasia Destiny Tashia Julian. Calvin Lynn Kearns. Robert Lewis Keaton Jr. Jonathan Parker Kemp. Matthew Quinn Kinney, summa cum laude. John David Kinney II. Destiny Antonet Kennard. Autumn Cartier Curvin. Sarah Marie Nicely. Cameron Ridge Knowles. Kristen Marie Kreth, cum laude. Caleb Stephen Lancaster. Brooke Lynn Dawn Langus. Justin Durrell LaShore. Ashley Jean Liddick. Charlie Dawn Lopez. Rebecca Abigail Lopez, cum laude. Austin Michael Lovett. Stephanie Carol Loving. Niall Finn Lowry, magna cum laude. Viveka Lucrete Rivera. Antonius Osvaldo Lynch Serrano, cum laude. Kenneth Lyons II. Catherine Stephanie Maltez Garcia. Danny Lynn Martin Jr. Brandon Michael Mason. Devin Schuyler Mock. Makai Teddy McNair, magna cum laude. Eric Hunter Meadows, Jr. Mariah Cherie Meeks. Rinia Moesha Mercer. Troy James Metzger. Carla Beatrice Mira. Terrell Delane Mobley II. Alexis Victoria Mott, magna cum laude. Nicole Lynn Moore, magna cum laude. Tyree Jonay Moore. Emily Sue Morris. E. Maury Alexis Morton, MC Dean Electrical Apprentice. Braden Trayshawn Mullen. Burke Daniel Mullins, cum laude. Ashley Page Monday. Nicholas, did I not? Oh. Anthony Monday. I'm sorry. Okay. I don't know. Sorry. Caleb Alexander Nagy. Cheyenne Dakota Noakes. Zachary Ryan Noakes. Tyler Dean Norris. Joshua Andrew Orr. Cameron Alexander Palmo. Jaquan Rayshawn Parker. Andrew Gordon Payne, magna cum laude. Darius Rashad Pinkney. Natalia Pinzon Montano. Damian DeWan Pitts. Trevor Sean Pitts. Amaya Christian Pratt. Ryan Matthew Proctor. Haley Madison Queen. William Tyler Reel. Oscar Antonio Reyes. Crystalline Nicole Richardson. Zachary Scott Roberts, summa cum laude. Sydney Simone Rock. Janae Cherie Rollins. Cynthia Iveth Romero. Madeline Elizabeth Rose. Mackenzie Rose Roselle. Teresa Jane Russell. Michaela Elizabeth Ryan. Brandon Sean Salas, cum laude. Matthew Ryland Satterwhite. Arlen Charles Seibolt. William Andrew Surrett. Mackenzie Leanne Setliff, magna cum laude. Callie Renee Shepard. Kobe Matisse Simmons. Ava Dolores Molsick, summa cum laude. Asante Tiandre Smith. Bria Faith Smith. Eric Lee Smith. Michaela Latrice Smith. Nicholas Nolan Smith. Stephen Norman Smith II, cum laude. Justin Christopher Smithers. Tyler Edward Sotzing, cum laude. Dylan Ray Stanley. James Noel Start. Jabril Maurice Stevens. Jessica Lynn Lowe Suber. Aaron Lee Gardner Taylor, cum laude. Clint Solomon Terry Jr. Shanera Durain Thomas, cum laude. Markel Javon Thomas. Owen Lloyd Thompson. Justin Jacob Thorne, magna cum laude. Sean William Tidwell. Shania Victoria Trent. Jalen Deshawn Turner. Fabricio Alexander Umana. Dashelle Maddie Mariah Walker. Devin Keyshawn Walker. Lakira Anissa Daeja Walker. Thomas Isaiah Walker. MC Dean Apprentice. Anthony Conrad Walker Jr. Robert Daniel Wallace. Dejon Ware. Okay. David Ware. No. Diamorte Fitzgerald Washington. Jacoby Payne Washington, magna cum laude. Afrida Waugh. Benjamin Thomas West. Jacob Samuel Wheeler. Robert Allen Wheeler. Shatik Javon White. Shane Harris Whitaker. Eric Deshaun Williams. Logan Jackson Williams. Justin Rashad Williams. Haley Jovan Wilson. Rayana Nicole Wolf. Anjane Armani Dupree Wolford. Alexandra Page Wright. Yasmin Nicole Wright. Naomi Rain Young, cum laude. Terry Allen Young, Jr. And Bryce Robert Ziade.
All right, class of 2018, please rise. By the power vested in me by the State of Virginia and the Caroline County School Board, I officially declare you graduates of Caroline High School.